Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters and respected elders, I hope you are all well. What you're looking at here is a screen with all the Islamic apps on my phone. And the reason why I wanted to show you this so that you can benefit from it too. So this selection here is a selection of all my favorite apps that I've downloaded over the years. I downloaded quite a few and I've deleted some because they weren't quite easy to use. These ones are quite straightforward. So I'm not going to go through every single one, but I'm going to show you my top ones that I use for Quran and Hadith. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one here, which is called Hadith Companion. This one over here. Okay, let's go into it. And you will see you've got all the narrations like Bukhari, Muslim. So let's go to Sahih al-Bukhari. And then you got all the different categories of narrations of hadith. So let's say you go to prayers, salat here, and then you got all the different narrations here. Okay, and they're pretty easy to read. First one's in Arabic, for those of you that speak Arabic. You got the English there in the middle, and you got Urdu here as well. And at the bottom here, you'll see the references in terms of where the narrations are from. Let's go back. Second one I will show you is pretty similar. This one here, which is called the Hadith Collection. So let's go into this one here, and you'll see it's laid out like books. So let's go to Sahih Muslim, and then same as the other one, you've got all the different narrations. So let's say the book of fasting, we'll go into number 13, and then it shows you in Arabic, and then it shows you in English, and in the middle there, it shows you where it was referenced. So there are other ones in terms of hadith, but those are the two easiest ones to read. So let's move on to the Quran ones. So at the top here, on the top right, which I'll show you here, you got Quran.com. Now this isn't really an app, this is actually a shortcut from a web interface. So if I click that, you'll see it appears like an app. So over here you've got it's pretty easy to read and laid out. So let's go to Al-Fatiha, and if you can see here, look, it's so you got here, if I just click on one of them, for example over here, you know, the first ayah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So if I click on play, which is over here, okay,
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu lillahi Rabbi al-Alamin. Alhamdu lillahi Rabbi al-Alamin.
so as you can see from here, if I click on every single word, it pronounces it individually, so you can actually hear what's been said, and you can repeat after it as well. So as you can see, it's pretty bold, laid out, easy to read. So it's good for people with glasses, if you wear glasses. The next one I'll move on to is called Al-Qur'an. So this one I've used for quite a while. And again, it's laid out pretty nicely, easy to read. Al-Fatiha. If you look here, it breaks every single word down, so what it means. So Bismi, in the name, you see this one here, okay, and then it translates it in the whole, what that actual sentence means. Okay, as you can see, each ayah is translated really nicely. Okay, so let's go back. Again, you can go to a quick link, which is over here, the ones that surahs are quite used frequently. So let's say Al-Kahf. So if you look at the first verse, okay, if I click, let's say Alhamdu, if I click here, all praise, and then if I go to the second one, Lillahi is for Allah. So you can see the next one here. So each word you can see is translated accordingly. Beautiful. Okay, now I just want to show you this one here, Qur'an Explorer, which is the one over here. Circle that and show you. Okay, this one was recommended to me by my Ustad, and this one actually breaks it down really thoroughly. So let's go to Al-Fatiha, which is one go. So you can see here, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So you can see here the commentary about that particular ayah. Now I'll show you here, take us on the right path, then guidance. And it breaks it down and shows you the meaning. So like I said, there are other apps, but in terms of the Quran, so let me share something with you. A lot of us have learnt the Quran when we were younger, and we've learnt to read it, alhamdulillah, but some of us haven't really understood the meaning, or some of us have read it many years ago. I've heard brothers say to me, I've learnt it when I was young, I've forgotten it now, or I remember bits and pieces of it. So this particular app has really helped me, and this is my opinion in terms of what's helped me memorize the parts of the Quran. Obviously I haven't memorized all of it, I'm still learning. So let's click onto here and let me show you this. So over here, if I click the second one down over here, Al-Fatiha. Okay, let's pause that for a second. Before I play it, I'm going to show you a couple of things. So this is the first, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? This is the first. Now over here is the first verse. This one here, it shows you how many times you want it to repeat. So if I, let's say, go like this, okay, I want it just to repeat it once, the first verse. So let me show you from the beginning.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Okay, so now you saw that it's repeating that first verse on its own. If I go to the second verse, which is verse number 2, okay, and then it will just repeat that second verse on its own. So let me show you.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
So as you can see, it's repeating that second verse. Okay, so if you can see at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see it says 1x. What that means is 1 times speed. If I change this, for example, to 0.5, okay, that might sound a bit strange, but the reason being is, for those of us that are starting to learn the Quran, we can't understand Arabic properly. Although this verse is quite simple to hear, there are some ayahs in the Quran where it's quite complicated. Either we read it very quick, or there's a lot to listen to, so you can actually slow it down and break it down and listen to what's being said. Now, what I mean by why it has helped me, let me ask you something. I'm going to say something in a really sort of strange way, but you know, when you ask somebody, you know, how do you memorize, let's say, songs, okay? Again, this is something I'm just trying to compare it to so you understand. How many songs do people remember? Yeah, and I'll give it a classic example, Indian songs. Now, for some of us who don't understand Indian, or Hindi rather, we don't speak the language, so how do we remember it? That's because we watch the movies, we hear the songs, and it's played over and over again. And part of our brain stores this without us realizing, so that we remember the words. I know it's a bad example, but think about this carefully, right? if you was to memorize this over and over again, the trick to memorization is to keep repeating things over and over again. That's how you do revision. If you remember back when you did your exams, or if you're somebody quite young going to do your exams, your revision is going to be about repetition. And you just repeat something over and over again, and when you need it, it stores it in a kind of section in your brain. I'm not a scientist or a psychologist, but it really works. So I'll give you my example is, as I'm getting older, obviously the kind of ability to memorize has become quite difficult as compared to when I was a lot younger, when I was a kid. And I thought to myself, what can help me? How can I fit this in my busy schedule? So a lot of us are glued to our phones, or not even glued, but we use our phones quite a lot for very beneficial things as well. And I thought to myself, how can I fit that in when I'm at work, when I haven't got the time to actually open the Quran and read it? So I thought to myself, there must be some app that I can play as I'm driving, as I'm walking, as whatever I'm doing. And then I found this app, alhamdulillah. So as I'm driving, for example, if I want to memorize, I don't know, Surah Al-Fatiha, let's say, I can play that same verse over and over again, and I can repeat with it. So not only am I learning, I'm also getting the benefits by repeating it as well. Because remember, every single letter has a reward. It's not just the whole Quran you have to read in one go, but every letter that you memorize, that you repeat, has a reward on its own, alhamdulillah. And the beauty of this app is that the brother who recited this, Sheikh Mishari Al-Afsi, he's got a beautiful, clear voice that one can understand and follow. And obviously he's got harmony in his voice as well, and he adds such beauty to it. And like I say, if you just could recite like him, subhanallah, that would be such a beauty to have. So yeah, this app has really helped me. If I go to, for example, the all section here, you got all the surahs of the Quran, and you can download whichever you want. Let's say you want to download Surah Yasin, you click on Surah Yasin. It will say you haven't downloaded yet and you want to download it, so click on it and it'll say yes. So at the moment I'm trying not to download all at once. I'm trying to take it step by step. So the main ones I need to remember, I will recite, memorize, and then I'll move on. Obviously on the first screen you can see here 0.1% memorized. I've actually memorized a bit more, but I haven't really used the app in terms of monitoring how much I memorized. So over here, just here, you can click memorized, and then it will give you like a percentage how much you memorize, so you can track it basically, alhamdulillah. So one of the other apps I wanted to quickly show you before I end this is this one here, the FaithIQ. Now this is a really good app in terms of if you want to find information about Islam. Now I came across this when I was on YouTube, and there were certain topics I wanted to research on, but quick answers. I didn't want to like watch an hour's worth of video to find out an answer, and I just wanted quick snapshots of, can this be permissible, can that be permissible, which is haram, which is halal, and what not. So if I click onto this, it's an actual app. Okay, so if you can see here, Ramadan for example, and then you click on show all, this will show you every topic about Ramadan. Okay, so let's say this one here. Can I use toothpaste and mouthwash when I'm fasting? So let's check this one out.
Can I use toothpaste and mouthwash when I'm fasting? The simple answer is, well, yes, but. Meaning, fasting will be broken if something goes into the throat, under the throat. So everything above the throat, everything in your mouth will not technically break the fast. However, you are quite literally one.
And that was brother Yasir Khadir. And yeah, there's loads of different topics. If you look at Ramadan itself, subhanAllah, look at that. It's got all the beneficial stuff. So again, it's got loads more. It's got stuff to do with family, basics, disability issues, dua, fasting, hajj, hijab. The resource is beautiful, and it's laid out quite easy to use, easy to find as well. And you can also over here make bookmarks, okay, just where the heart is, and you can see here, just sign in, make yourself an account. It's free, and then you can save your favorites, which you've watched or what you want to go back and research. So my dear brothers and sisters, that's it really. And I many of you will notice I do have an app called the Muslim Pro. Now, there was a big debate about this a few months ago, where there was a news broadcast, or like I say, an article stating that Muslim Pro, the developers for Muslim Pro, were giving the information for all the people that have the app to the American military. Now, why they were giving it to them, I have no idea. To be honest, you know, my opinion is every time we buy a smartphone, okay, this is my opinion, every time we buy a smartphone and we start installing apps, basically we're opening up our information to the world. So remember, most of these apps, even the ones that you know, you're looking at, they could be developed by somebody but like you and me. And there is terms and conditions on the application to state that there is certain information they can collect. Ultimately, it's on your phone, yeah, it's on your screen, it's within your actual software. So, you know, it's same as Muslim Pro. You know, if you're giving it to the American military, who knows who else has it, right? But again, I'm not saying it's good or bad. Muslim Pro is an app that was one of my first applications in terms of Islamic applications on my phone. It's helped me with remembering my prayers. It's helped me with reading the Qur'an. It's you know, designed quite well, easy to use. And I'm not saying, again, you know, people should go and install it. I'm just saying it's worked well for me. I've still got it on my phone. And the only way I'm really going to get rid of any information being given out is to get rid of my smartphone altogether. But my theory in terms of using, for example, social media or using any apps, people could say it's bad, you know, using Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, but it's how you use it. You know, if you're using it for the right things, if you're using it for the beneficial things, to gain your reward, to increase your deen, then alhamdulillah, do it, you know. But obviously, if you're using it for the wrong things, then it will only bring you misery and sinful things. So like I said, Muslim Pro is one of those things. If you wish to install it, it's up to you. I have it on my phone and I use it. But in terms of the other apps, one last one I wanted to show you just before I go, sorry, I just get a bit carried away, is this one here, the Maariful Qur'an. Now, somebody recommended it to me quite recently, and I thought, let me install it, because I've heard the brothers in a certain group is they learn, they teach Qur'an basically, and the students in there and teachers in there as well. And one of the ustads recommended it to the students. So let's click that, and you'll see in here it's laid out pretty similar to the other ones. So let's say we click again Surah Al-Fatiha, and in here this is the different part. So as you can see here, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and look at this at the bottom here, it breaks it down. What just the word Bismillah, what does that mean, right? You will see it breaks it down in such detail. All right, just look at that. Subhanallah. You know, just about the word Bismillah, basically. So this bit's quite interesting. When I was reading it, it just kind of like just froze for a minute. So look at this. The ruling before recite the Quran, it is sunnah to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the cursed. And then it says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin with the name of Allah, the All Merciful, the Very Merciful, which is just over here. This is the bit that I was reading. Okay, and that's literally just about Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, and then it goes on to say, Bismillah. The phrase is composed of 3 words: the letter Ba, Ism, and Allah. Look at that. You know, it just breaks it down into like a scientific manner. But it's not science. It's miracles of the Quran. So yeah, it just goes on and on and on. And yeah, look at that, still on the topic Bismillah. Okay, so again, look, Alif Lam Mim, you know, you know, you have to download this app. And seriously, I've just recently downloaded it like a couple of days ago, and I just wanted to really sit down and just study it properly, you know. And reading the Quran is an element, and understanding the Quran is another element. And when you put the two together, that's when you fully understand, and you will start implementing it in your life, right? So it's like giving you an Arabic book and you can't understand Arabic. I can't understand Arabic when I'm reading it as in a language. I'll be reading the letters, yes, but what am I reading? But when I start to understand the meaning and recite it with the correct pronunciation, that's when it will start clicking in my head, thinking, oh, you know what, it makes sense now. It really does make sense. So my dear brothers and sisters, again, this is not a video to preach Islam to you in such manner that you should, you know, do certain things. So my dear brothers, I'm going to leave you now, and it's been a slightly long video, but please, this video is designed so that you can find out about these apps. Now, this particular device is an Android, it's a Samsung S10. I'm sure these apps are available on Apple devices as well, iPhones, but they may have slightly different applications with different names, so you might want to, you know, read that up. But again, if you have some applications on Android that might benefit other people as well, please mention them in the comment section below. As I say, there's hundreds of different apps, and you have to kind of go through all of them and just find out which one is easy to use and easy to read and whatnot. Some are glitchy, some have adverts, inappropriate adverts as well. Some you have to pay for. So all the applications I showed you here, they're all free, apart from Muslim Pro. I think I paid a membership earlier last Ramadan, and you know, I paid for the year, so I've kept it. But yeah, there are applications that you may have to pay a certain fee to get rid of adverts and stuff like that. But it's always a couple of pounds here and there, which is you know, to get rid of the annoying pop-ups, you might pay it. That's no problem at all. So my dear brothers and sisters, I hope you have benefit from it. Again, please share this with your friends, your family, your kids. Install these applications on your kids' phones as well. You know, get them to use it. If it's just a couple of applications, get them to read it, because it will benefit them, and obviously you'll get the rewards as well for them repeating every single letter, remember. Dear brothers and sisters, take care, look after yourselves and your families. Jazakum al khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.